Well, good morning, everyone. It is April 1st, and we are going to go ahead and do lesson 93. Lesson 93, two-step equations and inequalities. So now we're going to solve for our variable, but we're going to have to use two steps to find it instead of just one. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is look at an equation example over here. I've got negative 6x plus 36 equals 12. And so I want to isolate x. Now the first thing I always do is look and see, is something added or subtracted from the variable term? And sure enough, 36 is added to the variable term negative 6x. So what I want to do is first, always in your two-step problems, we're going to add or subtract, always. Okay, so what is the opposite of adding 36? Subtracting 36. And we're going to show that step on both sides. I'm going to subtract 36 from the left and right side of my equation. So now on the left side, 36 minus 36 cancels out to 0. We do not put the 0 down here. Now let's come over here and let's bring down the negative 6x. Let's bring down our equal sign. Now, what is 12 minus 36? Well, 12 minus 36 is the same thing as 12 plus negative 36. My answer is going to be a negative number. So that's going to be negative. And then what is 36 minus 12? It is 24. And so I have 12 minus 36. 12 minus 36 is a negative 24. Now, I'm going to isolate my variable x by doing the opposite of multiplication here. I'm going to undo it with division. I'm going to divide both sides by negative 6 and negative 6. And so negative 6 divided by negative 6 gives me a 1x. And so x equals, and a negative divided by a negative is a positive. 24 divided by 6 is 4. And we have a positive 4 for our solution. Now, let's try the same thing with an inequality. Don't let that bother you. We're going to solve it the exact same way. We look on the side with the variable always to know what to do. And what did I say? We're going to always add or subtract first. We're going to subtract first again here. We're going to subtract 5 from both sides. So let's do that. I'm going to bring down my 2x. My positive 5 and negative 5 will cancel out, so I'll just cross through those. I'm going to write down my inequality greater than or equal to, and 1 minus 5. If you have 1 on the number line and go to the left 5 units, you will end up at negative 4. 1 minus 5 is the same thing as 1 plus negative 5. 1 minus 5 is 1 plus negative 5 gives you negative 4. Now I'm going to undo the 2. That rhymes, okay? I'm going to undo it. It's multiplied by x, so I'm going to divide both sides by 2. And x becomes greater than or equal to negative 4 divided by 2 is a negative 2. And I'm going to box my answer. Now, with the inequalities, they're going to tell you to graph it. So remember, we put our negative 2 in the middle. We'll put a negative 1 to the right of that and a negative 3 to the left of that. And it's greater than, this line means equal to. So it can be equal to negative 2, or it can be greater than. So my greater than are all the numbers to the right of negative 2 on the number line. And there is my graph. Now, let's do 2 problems from the homework. All righty, here we go to the other side. And we're going to choose to do number 22 and number 26. So let's look at 22 first. It's an inequality. So over here, I'm going to look on the side of the variable. I always add or subtract first. So I'm going to do the opposite of subtracting 5. I'm going to add 5. So I'm going to put a plus 5 on both sides of the equation. And so now I bring down my 2x. Negative 5 plus 5 is 0. Bring down my inequality, and negative 1 plus 5 is 4. Negative 1 plus a positive 5 is a positive 4. Go back to the variable, step 2. We're going to divide both sides by 2 here by putting a division bar on both sides of the equation. 2 divided by 2 gives me plain old 1x is greater than, and we know the final answer is 4 divided by 2 is 2. I'm going to box that on my answer sheet. And then, and please show all this work, you're going to show all these steps, 2 steps now. And then with an inequality, they're going to ask us to graph it. So we're going to put 2 in the middle, 3 to the right, 1 to the left. This time, do we have an open or a closed circle? We have an open circle. It's not equal to 2. So I'm going to put an open circle there, but it's everything greater than 2. It could be 2.1 or 2.000001, but it's anything greater than 2. So right on the edge of that open circle, I'm going to start drawing my ray there and darken the arrow. Okay? You do not have to box graphs on a number line when you do your answer. Now finally, let's do number 26. There's a couple other problems that are like these in the homework, but I'm only going to choose to do 2 because you can go back and look at this video again if you'd like to, or look at the examples in the book. Now, here we are. It's back to an equation. What am I going to do? Look on the side with the variable and first add or subtract. Well, I see a plus 4, so the opposite of adding 4 is subtracting 4. I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides. And now I'm going to bring down my 2/3 W, and 4 minus 4 is 0. Cancel that out. Bring down your equal sign. Well, this is easy. 14 minus 4 is 10. Well, now what do? Well, we have a fractional coefficient here. What do I do to undo a fractional coefficient to isolate W? Multiply by the reciprocal. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to multiply both sides by the reciprocal 3/2. So let's show that. Look what's going to happen. We're going to cancel out. We get W is equal to, let's look at this, 10 over 1 times 3 over 2. I'm going to cancel my 10 over 2 to a 5 over 1, and I'm left with 5 times 3, W equals 15. And that is how you do a 2-step equation or inequality. Look on the side with the variable, first add or subtract to eliminate this number, okay? And then either divide or multiply by a reciprocal to get your final answer. 2 steps. Now, let's talk about, I'm going to try to move out of the way here. Yes, let me go over here. Our homework is not due until Friday because tomorrow, Thursday, we have a test. So we get a little break from doing 30-word problems and listening to me give a lecture. So tomorrow, all you're going to do is take a test. We're going to have a video on how to do that tomorrow. But the test will cover lessons 1 through 85. It is open book. Oh, yeah, open book. And not due until 9 o'clock tomorrow night. We'll talk about that later. Now, I did forget one thing. You will have another Khan Academy. Excuse me for stepping in front of you. Another Khan Academy. Now, I'm calling this a quiz. Okay, I'm calling it a quiz, but it's just a small problem set on a review lesson, okay? And I'm going to take it as a quiz grade, but it is in Khan Academy, and there'll be one every day. So don't miss the deadline. If you miss the deadline, I don't think you can go back and do them. That's what I can tell so far. So please don't miss the deadline. I've got one assigned for every day. There's one assigned for Wednesday. We're not going to have one tomorrow. And then one assigned for Friday. And those will be your quiz grades. So you've got your Khan Academy quiz. Just go in and look for the due date for tonight. That'll be due tonight. Homework is not due until Friday. Okay? So Khan Academy, get that done. That'll be due every evening at midnight. This homework will not be due till Friday morning at 9 a.m. Always due the next day at 9 a.m. except for skipping because we have a test, okay? Homework lesson 93 is due Friday. Khan Academy is due at midnight. Test tomorrow. We'll talk about that. Zoom has changed. I have put that on the class wall. I'm going to just have an open meeting, and you're just going to have to enter in my special ID. You don't have to look for an invitation in LMS. It's right there on the class wall, the same ID every single day. So depending on which class you're in, 7A, 1 p.m., 7B, 2 p.m., I'll see you then. Optional. So I may not see you, but I will definitely see you tomorrow to explain the test to you. Have a great day.